Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. This may be some bad news for you guys, but I want to keep you informed based on what I've read. So there's been some buzz going around on the internet that there's a new injector recall for the N54. And some people have posted it on YouTube and forums, and there's a lot of misinformation from what I can tell. And actually a viewer asked me to look into this and see if I can give my input. And looking at it on face value, I don't think it's going to apply to too many people. This probably looks a little bit crazy to see so many injectors on top of this motor, but I actually bought a set of refurbished injectors many years ago and ran them for a few years. And that's how I ended up with so many injectors. But really, I've only spent like $100 and something for all these. The ones that came off the car and the ones that were refurbished. Now I have Index 12 injectors in there. And it's been perfectly fine since I put those in. I've had no issues. It's been getting on a couple years now. They were the one and done solution. They truly work. You won't get any cold start issues or misfires when you go to Index 12. I've been very happy with them. And overall, I'd recommend that you guys replace them if you can afford to. So there was a new recall issued in January of 2020 stating that vehicles that were manufactured between April 1st, 2007 and November 30th, 2008 are eligible to have all their injectors replaced to Index 12, all 6. Now there was an amendment to that recall stating that it's not a new recall campaign. It actually is a revision to an older campaign where if you had maybe just 1 or 2 or 3 of these injectors replaced back in 2011 or sometime between 2011 and now, you're now eligible to have all of them replaced. If you've gotten the issue rectified, they used to just test them and then they would replace injectors as needed. And if they were incompatible injectors, they would replace all 3 in whatever bank. And what happened is they realized that that's not working out. They revised it so that you get all new injectors. Problem is, if you've already had your recall done and there's no open recalls on your car, you're not eligible for this newest recall, as far as I've been able to read and tell. It's just a revised recall. So from what I understand, you're going to have a vehicle that was manufactured from April 1st, 2007 to November 30th, 2008. You have to have a car that has never had any recalls done and still shows the original old recall from 2011 as open. And then when they show that, you'll go to your dealer and they'll see that that recall has been amended and you're now eligible for 6 Index 12 injectors. I had a bunch of Index 8 injectors in my car. I think it was a mixture of 7 and 8. So I believe my injectors were replaced at some time in the past with updated injectors, but I don't know if that was under warranty or during a recall, but regardless, I'm not eligible for this. I've already done my injectors. I won't be compensated as far as I can tell. So if they issued a recall on something like this G20 M340i, I'd understand it. If they issued a recall for the E90 for something like the airbags, etc., something safety related that degrades with time, I'd understand. But to issue a recall for something mechanical for a car that's basically near the end of its service life that came out more than 10 years ago is just highly unlikely. So it's not like some of you won't get free injectors replaced under warranty, all 6 Index 12, but you'd have to have a car manufactured in 2007 or 2008 that has never had its original recall done. Nobody's ever taken care of its injectors. It probably has like Index 1 or Index 2 injectors in there. If you have that situation and you go to the dealer, they'll replace all of them for you. In my opinion, it's a bit of a gray area because if you're going to issue an amendment like that, you're basically saying that the original fix was not suitable. So this new fix is suitable. So people that have had their injectors replaced, maybe just 1 or 2 under recall, you would think would be eligible for this new recall. But from what I've read and seen, they're not going to be issuing new recalls to cars that have already been taken care of. I really don't want to be spreading misinformation, and I'm only giving you my opinion on what I've read and seen, but that's what makes sense to me. For you guys that are looking to see if your injectors are going to get replaced under recall, I don't think it's looking too promising because it's just an amendment to the original recall and you have to have that recall open for this to apply. It's kind of unfortunate, but it'd be awesome if they decided to admit that the original recall wasn't suitable for all cars. That's why they made the revision, and anybody that's bought Index 12 injectors out of pocket would get compensated. Maybe that'll happen. Or maybe they'll spread it out so that any car gets all new injectors because that was the ultimate fix and they realized it after time, that would be awesome as well, but I wouldn't hold my breath for that. So anyway, guys, I thought I'd give you some input. Just a quick video explaining what I think is going on with the recall campaign. There was a recall from 2011, and now there's a new amendment to that recall. And if you're lucky enough to have never had your injectors done under recall, you're gonna get new injectors if your car was made before November 2008. Anyway, if this is the first video you're catching on mine, consider subscribing. I do upload regularly. Thanks for watching.